So in terms of the body of the presentation now, really broken down into three pieces, particularly given the time constraints. First of all, in terms of Hampshire's economy, yes, it is one of the most successful economies in the UK. We have relatively high business formation rates, relatively high business and jobs density, and a high employment rate. But there's always a but, isn't there? The reality is, if you do look at the data, the levels of economic prosperity and labour productivity do not match up to some of the best performing economies in the southeast. So we've definitely seen a growth in the service sector and a decline in the manufacturing sector. Across the whole of Hampshire, ICT is the strongest sector, with an industry specialisms index of about 1.5%. One of the factors that holds back Hampshire's overall economic performance is the relative performance of the two cities. And what we've actually seen here is, in terms of productivity locally, GVA per head, what you've actually seen is Portsmouth has seen a relative decline in its productivity. So it was 15% above the UK average. It's now only 1% above the UK average. And Southampton's seen a more dramatic change in its status, from 17% above the UK average now to 7% below. We are the most export-intensive county in England, and we represent a fifth of all exports from the southeast. Three of the sectors which actually contribute significantly to Hampshire's economy. First of all, the aerospace sector. Airbus and Boeing, in their 20-year forecasts, are predicting 42,000 new passenger aircraft. Autonomy is one of the key strengths we have, particularly in relation to marine. The UK is recognised as a global digital tech leader, but we do have a healthy cluster of digital-based businesses. Most of them do things that I certainly don't understand, but actually they are very diverse. So everything from data modelling, artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, autonomy, even air traffic software, air traffic control software. So a fantastic sort of range, both UK and foreign owned. But we very much need to aim to be an adaptable, knowledge-intensive economy. We need an economy which can adapt as the market changes. We definitely need to harness our strengths as a place of where digital technology is not just developed but exploited, and particularly where it underpins some of these other sectors that we have strengths in, particularly around marine and aerospace, because I very much see the digital technology as an enabler for those end-use sectors. We do need to become, or parts of Hampshire need to become, vibrant and magnetic places. Knowledge-focused businesses are completely reliant on having highly skilled workers, and highly skilled workers want to be where these places are. Vibrant urban centres are critical for economic success. In actual fact, even our own research showed that in Hampshire, businesses in knowledge-intensive sectors tend to be located in or close to major employment centres. And for younger people, urban lifestyles are increasingly popular. We need to be connected, locally and globally. I've already mentioned there's a strong relationship between businesses that have those sort of international connections, their productivity, their levels of innovation. So this is another really critical agenda for Hampshire. We need to capitalise on Southampton retaining its status as the UK's leading export port, but supporting not only the local economy but the national economy as well. And also, we need to prioritise overtly support for our key tradable sectors, those sectors with growing international markets. Do we need to make sure there's a much greater connection between any regional strategies we might have, pan-Hampshire, and local strategies that might be being developed by district councils, for example? We need to build on our attributes as an adaptable, knowledge-intensive economy, particularly in relation to that digital sector. Through the vibrant urban centres, combined with that natural environment that we obviously cherish in Hampshire, we do need to be a magnet for talent, both retaining and attracting talent. We need to continue to work on our attributes as an international gateway economy. And finally, we need to make sure we do equip those local communities and make sure those local strategies fit into the larger strategies so that everyone can share in any future prosperity for Hampshire in 2050.
When you talk about vibrant urban centres, I respond to that positively and think that's a good thing. But then I think, what does that really mean? What does it mean to you? Right.
It means Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds, Bristol.
So what are the characteristics?
I mean, it's a very easy way of answering the question. They're places that young people and talented people want to be in, and there is a life to them.
Right up front, you talked about Britain's competitiveness, not just our areas, and that linked to Britain leaving the European Union. What consideration have you given to how we could actually become more competitive in certain areas through liberalisation?
I would suggest we might want to really think carefully, though, about what types of projects, foreign direct investment-wise, we would want to attract in the future.